Hello and welcome to 18 WJTS in.form. I'm your host, Bill Potter. A very special program today. We're going to talk about the Magic Yarn Project. As you can tell around me, there are wigs here. We're going to find out about that as we talk with Kelley Schipp. She is the Southern Indiana chapter leader for the Magic Yarn Project.
Good
Kelley,
morning.
welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
A very special program that you are doing, and I guess we could really say it's fairly new. What is the Magic Yarn Project?
The Magic Yarn Project is a organization that makes these crocheted wigs for children who have lost their hair to cancer or from alopecia, boys and girls. They're all completely free to the families and 100% made by donations and volunteer hours.
So you're a program of folks that, I'm going to equate this to like an old quilting bee in a way, where you get together on a night and you sit around and crochet.
Right.
For a good purpose.
Yes.
Weird question. What's the difference between crocheting and knitting macrame? Is this harder to do? Is this easy?
I think it's what you're taught to do. Which one? So I had a grandmother that crocheted, and that's the way I learned. There are other people that knit. These patterns specifically are for crocheting. It has a different stitch to it than what knitting would, which allows us to manipulate it differently and attach the accessories and stuff.
Okay, and so these are going to kids who are going through chemotherapy, and generally they're bald. They lose their hair, which is unfortunate. But this is a way to make them special. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so they help alleviate some of the loneliness and sadness maybe that losing their hair has caused them, to make them feel different from their friends, that kind of thing. So as they're spending a lot of time in hospital beds, watching a lot of movies, watching a lot of TV, they can go pick one of these out of a hospital box and be that character, be Ariel, be Rapunzel, whichever one they choose to be.
Do you have, for boys, a boy may not want to be Rapunzel,
right,
with the long blonde hair and the flowers,
Yes.
May want something else.
Yeah, so we have Captain America, Spider-Man, Batman, a bunch of different boy options, Green Lantern, different things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the kids will get these to wear and keep forever if they'd like.
Right.
What age are we talking about? And it's going to hurt to hear this age, I think.
Yeah, typically 2 to 12. We can make them a little larger for up to maybe 14 or so, but a lot of that time then they'll get out of wanting the magical part of it and maybe more something that's not as princessy, but more just to cover that bald head and still help them feel normal.
How many of these wigs have you made, and do they just stay locally, or do you send them everywhere?
So we probably in our part of the state have made about 125, and we have been sending them. Initially I was sending them to Alaska, where the Magic Yarn Project was started and is headquartered. And then last year they started 8 chapters in the lower 48, if you will, and I was sending them to that chapter leader. So now they're restructuring. We have regional managers and now chapter leaders. So we've about 125 so far.
So, and as a whole, this is a really new project.
Yes.
But for Du Bois County or the Southern Indiana area, it's even newer than that.
Right.
And so you're the chapter leader.
Yes.
I guess, what do you need from folks?
Volunteers to help assemble the wigs, and people who can crochet just the beanies if they want to. If you want to learn how to do the attaching of the hair, you don't need any crochet skills at all. Basically, if you can tie your shoes, you can attach her hair. And then we teach you how to do the rolls and attach all the ribbons and flowers and everything like that.
How often do you meet? How often do you have a crocheting party?
Typically, we do a workshop at the Tri-County YMCA in Ferdinand. The first Sunday of the month is the way it's been working out. I also have been getting requests to do small personal workshops. So mothers of preschoolers, employer groups, the Jasper Community Arts Commission, we're doing one with every session that they have. So,
Now, this is not a club that folks join. They just basically say,
come and go.
I want to volunteer. Do they do one wig in a night? How many hours do they need to commit? What does it take?
Typically at a workshop we'll do it about 3 hours, and you'll for sure get one done, if not start a second one. And then if you get the hair attached, it makes it a lot easier for us, because that's the time consuming part, so we can just finish up the rest or save it for the next workshop and pick up where we left off. But definitely one. We usually team up, one to kind of pull the hair out of the bundles of yarn and one to attach it so it goes quicker and then they can switch off. They can each get the chance to attach the hair.
Is this a special yarn
Yes.
that you use?
Especially the beanie caps themselves. That is the Caron Simply Soft brand.
Okay.
There are some other brands that we use, but it definitely has to be soft because as they are going through their treatments, their scalps get really, really tender to touch, and this is about the only one that really will accommodate that. And then the hair, since it's not directly touching the scalp, that can be other yarns to help us save on the cost
Sure.
sometimes. So,
Do the kids get to pick out what they want, or can they special order? Let's say that your daughter or your son is 3 years old, and you know that they really like Rapunzel. Can they say, this is what I want, this is the color I want?
right. Absolutely. Rapunzel will come in either this where she looks like she's wearing a hat, or a solid yellow version where it looks like she's not, and then she'll have a tiara. So they can go on the website and request whichever version of that princess they want, or superhero.
What if someone is older and not so much into princesses anymore?
They can say what colors they really like, what they're into right now, and then we can possibly special make, or we already have some special made in popular colors. So, yeah.
Why should people do this? Why would somebody come to you and want to do this?
Because it's a feel-good story.
Okay. Yeah.
It really makes you feel good as you're doing it, knowing, and you're just kind of putting someone else first. As you're working on it, you know that someone is going to get this package and just love it, and hopefully give them hope and a smile.
Do you have a goal, like we have to do 10 wigs a week? Or
The chapter overall has a goal of 100 per year. So we're starting now. We average about 10 to 15 each workshop. So we should have no problem meeting that 100. But that's a requirement, but we'll probably go well over that.
Is there a limit to how many folks can be part of this? I mean, can you handle 30 people, or does it have to be 10?
On average, we do about 20 to 25
Okay.
because I have to have trained helpers, who I call my fairy godmothers, to help. We do one trained person per every 6 newbies. At the workshops. So that way we make sure we're sending out a quality product, because that's one thing that if hot glue goes through here, they can't be used, or we have to significantly modify them. We have to fix them before they can be sent. So there are strict standards as far as colors, and especially not the glue going through.
Now, you say newbies, so I'm assuming that I have no idea how to crochet. I
Come
think
on
I've
in.
seen a crochet. Is it the one with the little hook at
Yes,
the end?
yeah.
Okay. Will you train people?
Absolutely.
So this is, I guess you could learn a skill. If you want to be self-serving yourself, you'll learn a skill, but you'll also, more than anything, be helping other people.
Right. We typically at the workshops won't teach how to actually crochet. We'll have the crocheted beanie, and then we'll attach the hair and style it and do the rest of this at the workshops. But usually we have people have already made the beanies for us, and then we go from there.
And again, how often do you
Usually
meet?
once a month at the YMCA. And we can do private stuff if someone's interested in doing that also.
And if somebody wants to help, they don't have to help every month.
No.
And maybe they
Come
can
and
only
go.
help,
Yeah.
they just kind of need to contact you. Which brings us to the next point. If somebody would like to be part of this, what do they do?
They can, if they're on Facebook, they can follow the Magic Yarn Project Northeast region, because we fall into that Northeast region, and that will show what our local needs are as far as the Northeast region in general, what their needs are. And it will also list all the workshops that we're going to have, so they can sign up to do that, because we do have to cap it at 20-25 people usually in order to make that quality product. More than that, and it gets kind of crazy.
Sure. Could they email you?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
And your email is?
Kelley S. at
Okay.
themagicyarnproject.com.
And Kelley spelled Kelley
S.
at themagicyarnproject.com.
Project.com.
Okay. All right. We'll put that on the screen so that you can see that there. And are you needing volunteers right now? Are you?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Because
so
we're
you're
just
really-
getting our chapter started, so we have a group of regulars that have been helping so far, but definitely looking to expand to anyone else that wants to learn it, or who knows a child who would love to receive one of these, because that's really kind of the purpose in being here, is to get the word out about it locally as far as help, and distribute them to kids who might need them. So
Now, you obviously volunteer, so you're not paid to do this.
no one in our organization is paid.
But you do need money
Yes.
because the yarn costs money.
Yes.
Or you
Shipping.
ship these. There's not a charge to anybody who gets a wig.
Correct.
The families do not pay.
Right.
So there is obviously cost. If somebody would like to make a donation, how do they do that?
If they want to do cash, they can go on the website. We have a direct link, and that money through that link would stay directly in our chapter.
Okay.
Or they can donate yarn, or we always need stickers that go on the envelopes for the cards that go in each package. Time, obviously, at the workshops. But yeah, we definitely are going to need money to keep everything going. And that link is the best way to do it.
And then for these wigs, how do you distribute them to the kids? How, you have a workshop, and you've got 10 wigs in your hand. What happens next?
So some of them will get packaged. Each hospital will get a variety of wigs. So maybe 2 Ariels, 2 Rapunzels, a Belle, and they get 24 or 36, however many they request to have or what space they can hold at one time. So those would be at Riley's Hospital, for instance, or Norton's in Louisville, for instance. If it's an individual, they get packaged up in a nice cellophane bag and shipped in a box to that individual.
Okay, and they get a card that says, we're thinking of you or something like that?
Yeah, it's a magical little card. Always remember, and this is for one of the superheroes. So.
What a kind gesture that people can make for people. We've got spare time anyway.
Right.
And sitting around with friends, meeting new friends, and crocheting and liking, the old bees where they sit around. That's kind of a neat thing for yourself to do, but really paying it forward and helping somebody who is going through a tough time.
Yeah, it's a really hard time. And these are almost as much for the parents, for the moms, to see their kiddos smile as much as they are for the kids. So it's just a really special project to be involved in.
And I'm sure when these kids lose their hair, they feel special in a bad way, but this makes them feel special in a good way.
Hopefully, yeah.
So you can be a part of that.
Yeah.
Kelley, thank you for coming in and talking, and thank you for doing the Magic Yarn Project.
Can I say one more thing?
Sure,
I just want
yes,
to talk
yes,
about,
ma'am.
you talked about it being young. The Magic Yarn Project's been around for about 3 years, but so far to date, we've distributed 12,700 total to over 52 countries.
Wow. So it's not just
the
here.
need is everywhere all the time. So
that is terrific. And they should get a hold of you by contacting you through the email. Kelley S, Kelleys, at themagicYarnProject.com. Okay, Kelley, thank you very much for coming in. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Be part of this. It's a great project, the Magic Yarn Project. Thank you for watching WJTS Inform. Our guest has been the Southern Indiana chapter leader for the Magic Yarn Project in this area, Kelley Schipp. Thank you for watching WJTS Inform. We're local people watching local people.